Hi, well, the big news is that we've just recorded the highest clearance rate in over 1 year. Kevin Brogan from CoreLogic back with me in just a moment with all the details.
In today's market, great ideas alone simply aren't enough, but innovative execution can hand you a real competitive advantage. Nightlight is a cutting-edge illuminated signboard by Printforce that offers round-the-clock visibility and features that maximise advertising space, improving your exposure. Buyers can now see the full picture, day or night, with Nightlight's edge-to-edge illuminated surface, which utilises environmentally friendly, scratch-resistant technology. Now available in 6x4 and 8x4. Nightlight is as versatile as you need to be in today's market. Let your clients know you're working day and night for them, and then prove it with Nightlight.
And joining me once again from CoreLogic, Kevin Brogan. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. How you going?
Very well, my friend. Thank you. Let's bring up those preliminary figures first up. What a stellar result out of Sydney, 81.5%.
Yeah, look, the last time we had an 81.5% clearance rate out of Sydney was the end of October 2016. So that's a really big number.
And even Melbourne at 70%, but I was also surprised and pleased to see Brisbane at 45%, almost 46%. That's a good result as well.
Absolutely. Look, I'm glad you picked up on that because it does sometimes get lost. Brisbane, the Brisbane market and the clearance rates don't just slavishly follow what's happening in the other big auction markets. 45.7% is I think the highest clearance rate we've had this year for Brisbane. So
that's a great result. Very good to see. Adelaide good at 58, 59%, even yep. Canberra at 60%.
Yeah, so Canberra's dropped a little since last week, but nonetheless, it's higher than perhaps the recent run in the first and second quarters of this year.
Just looking at those numbers too, 70.6%, the weighted average, that's the preliminary number. There's still a few auctions to come in, 652 reported out of 901. Obviously, it's going to fall down below 70%. Any guess on how far, Kevin?
Yeah, look, it will. If I have a look at the collection rates, I mean, as you can see, 652 auctions, effectively the bulk of those results collected in sort of overnight. Mm-hmm. So look, we will see more results come in, and they do tend to be a bit less favourable. I'm guessing it'll finish in the mid-60s. It'll still be pretty high for the combined capitals.
Yeah, well, that's still a good result, even at 65 or 66%.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's move to Sydney now. We'll have a look at the top side out of Sydney in just a moment. Before we do, look at the sub-regions. We'll bring that graph up. What do we see there, Kev?
Well, look, the two highest sub-regions, I suppose really different market segments, which makes it sort of quite interesting this week, is they're both at sort of 93% odd. We've got the northern beaches at sort of 92.9%, and the median sale price there is well over 2 million. Mm-hmm. And then we've got the inner southwest where we've actually got a median sale price at 900,000. So two quite different market segments in terms of value band, but they're both reacting quite positively to that sort of increased buyer confidence that we've seen.
Yeah, and they're pretty big numbers too. If you're looking at inner southwest, 37 auctions with a clearance rate of 76.9. Can you tell me how many have been reported there, Kevin, of those numbers?
In
inner southwest, 93.3%.
We've got 30 results in.
That's good.
So it's a reasonable number.
Yeah, it is a reasonable. So you'd have to think that one's going to hold up well into the 80s anyway, you would think.
Yes.
I guess time will tell. Let's have a look at the top Sydney sale. We'll bring our Just Click video up for you with the compliments of CoreLogic. Elegant estate living. This is a beautiful home with a tennis court and also a swimming pool, 36 Bobbinhead Road at Pymble. $4,680,000, McConnell Bourne. Carol McRae and Matthew Bourne selling this 6-bedder. Federation style, lovely home, Kevin.
It's a huge brick-built home on almost 2,000 square meters. It's in Pymble, as you said. The median price in Pymble is about 2.3 million. Interestingly, in Sydney terms, Pymble has actually done pretty well in terms of being resilient. The median price at peak was 2.4. So this is clearly quite special, even for that location. Interesting to see this was purchased in 2001 for 1.4 million, just to give you the context of capital growth over time. But absolutely, gold standard property, a really strong location.
Yeah, good result out of Sydney. Very, very encouraging to see the market there continuing to improve. A lot of seller and buyer confidence there too. We do with a bit more seller confidence, but certainly that will come as they see the buyers come in. Let's have a look at the Melbourne sub-regions. Once again, fairly uniform, although a good result there out of Northeast at 81.6% off 52 auctions, Kevin.
Yes, 38 results there. That is a really strong result for Melbourne. As we've often commented, the results are a little bit more uniform across the sub-regions of Melbourne. But, the Southeast 76.9 and Inner East 75, both really strong showings.
Our top Melbourne sale was in Blackburn South. I look forward to you telling me a little bit about that area, Kevin. That was sold by Ray White Burwood, $1,860,000 for the property at 40 Indra Road, Blackburn South. Brand new luxury home, this one, Kevin.
Absolutely. So this is the first time to market for this property. It's on a 580 square metre corner block. It's obviously very modern in its style and fittings. It's about 20 kilometres to the east of Melbourne, out towards sort of Glen Waverley. Now this is a sale at 1.86 million in a suburb with a median price of 970,000. So again, this is a really good property for the location. This area perhaps hasn't fared quite so well as Pymble. The median price is down about 18% since the peak of the market. But this just goes to show if you're putting up a really top flight property in a strong location, this is a good result.
Okay, well, we'll come back in just a moment with our top Queensland sale, this time coming out of the Gold Coast, and a good sale too out of the Redcliffe Peninsula. I think the first time we've ever recorded Redcliffe Peninsula. Interesting to note that's exactly where we've moved to as well. So quite proud and pleased about that. I thought
you would take some encouragement from that.
It takes a bit of encouragement, Kev. We'll come back in just a moment and tell you about the top sale out of Queensland, which is on the Gold Coast. Back in just a moment.
Did you know you can save up to 70% on your staff costs by outsourcing the low-value, repeatable tasks so your team can focus on growing your business? Beepo is an outsourcing provider focused on the real estate industry. With an English-speaking, tertiary qualified and fully trained team in the Philippines, Beepo will give your business the boost it needs to start growing and returning value to you. For more information, visit beepo.com.au.
Welcome back to the show, and as I said before that, our top sale out of Queensland is a property on Mermaid Waters, beautiful coastal location, 24 Peter Blondell Drive, $1,500,000. This property sold by Harcourt's Broadbeach and Mermaid Waters, Joshua Parsons, recording this sale, 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom on 823 square metres. A large waterfront home, this one, Kevin.
Oh, look, it is, and that waterfront's almost 40 metres long. So this is on a bit of a corner block. It's got a short street frontage and a long water frontage, which is the way you'd probably want it to be. Built in about 2003. Median price for the area are $885,000, and that's obviously taking into account that not all of the properties in Mermaid Waters have that water frontage. I think it's interesting. This property has been on the market for about 275 days on and off. So this is a market segment that has struggled, but nonetheless the auction has sort of come up with the goods.
Yes, it's that marketing, isn't it? It's that focus on the auction day that we see time and time again quite often. And I think we've mentioned it in this show too. You'll sometimes see properties languishing for a while, then they go to auction, which is an indication to the market that the seller is serious and there's a restricted time frame on it. And that normally sometimes does actually bring about a result, most times anyway. So,
absolutely. And I think, as we've been talking, particularly in Melbourne and Sydney, the confidence returning to the market, which is demonstrable in the clearance rates there, with interest rate cuts and the APRA buffer on serviceability, those sort of impacts, although not quite so easily demonstrable in the aggregated results, will be influencing buyer behaviour.
Absolutely. It's only a matter of time. We'll take you to the nation's capital now. The top sale in Canberra was in Hawker, 63 Eldernda, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, circuit, $990,000. Peter Blackshaw from Balconnen was the agency, Jack Doyle and Michael Braddon. 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Recently renovated, according to the agents, this home as well. What do we know about Hawker, Kevin?
Oh, look, Hawker's about 15 kilometres to the northwest of Canberra, and like we say about so many of the sort of near outer suburbs, if I can call them that, there's a lot of tree-lined streets, fairly sort of natural feel, a large-ish sort of block at 557 square metres. The property was built in 1975, but as you pointed out, it has been refurbished. So it's got a very modern feel inside, and actually for a dwelling of that age, the layout is actually pretty good.
And speaking of renovations, that's the headline for our Adelaide top sale, and that is a timeless renovation in a very prized suburbs. Looking forward to your take on St. Peter's. This is a property at 4 Westminster Street, sold for $1,250,000. Toop and Toop Real Estate selling this one. Sally Cameron and Bronte Manuel. A 4-bedroom home. St. Peter's. Give us the location and stats on that one, Kevin.
Yeah, so St. Peter's is 4 kilometres to the northeast of Adelaide, and I would argue very much within sort of walking distance of the city on a nice day. Look, the streets in St. Peter's quite often wider than usual, tree-lined. This one, as we've reported with top sales in Adelaide before, is absolutely filled with character. This is a slightly newer property, by which I mean 1920s. I think the last few that we looked at were maybe a little bit older than that. But it's got all that period charm, freestone bungalow, period charm and period features. So the renovation has been done sympathetically with those period features. All in all, a really beautiful home. Bang on the median price for St. Peter's.
Well, we will see by Friday what the final results are. Kevin Brogan, as you heard at the start, predicting in the mid-range, you said in the mid-60s, 65, something around that range?
I think that's where it's going to end up, Kevin, when we get all the results in, yeah.
Kevin Brogan from CoreLogic, thanks so much for your time and your insight into what's happening. Kevin will rejoin me again on Friday with our final wrap, and we'll have a look at what the auction activity is like for the week ahead. Kevin Brogan from CoreLogic, thanks once again, Kevin, and we'll talk to you later in the week.
Thank you. Speak to you soon.